Hey guys, so today for this first proper mini video lecture, I'm going to give you a quick and dirty rundown on rhetoric, kind of thinking about audience, also thinking about rhetorical conventions. So y'all have probably heard some version of this before, but thinking about what rhetoric is, right? Rhetoric is the ability to discern the available means of persuasion in any given situation. Some of y'all are probably already familiar with that. And with the different means of persuasion that Aristotle identified thousands of years ago. Logos, which is logical appeal, usually associated with the text itself. Pathos, emotional appeal, usually associated with a desired effect on the audience. And ethos, which is the appeal to the character or the identity of the author, which is, as you would expect, associated with the author themselves. While one of these rhetorical proofs might be dominant in a given argument, generally all three are going to be at play. So think about rhetoric as an ability, an action that performed well generally can result in a successful argument by applying rhetoric. So a little bit about ethos. Thinking about ethos for Aristotle, ethos referred to a person's character or personality. In modern usage, it often kind of denotes disposition, character, or fundamental values particular to a specific person, people, corporation, culture, movement. You hear about corporate ethos, the brand that Trader Joe's tries to cultivate is that they are happy to see you and we're all friends and everybody's all cool, right? And that's different to the brand of Chase Bank or something, So as an element of rhetoric, ethos is kind of a type of performance. One element that can play into a performance of ethos on a personal level is code switching, which is switching among dialects, styles, or registers of language according to circumstance. So many people code switch all the time, either consciously or unconsciously. For example, from my many years of waiting tables, I code switch into an Appalachian twang if I use my customer service voice. Hey y'all, how you doing today? My name's Anna, I'll be taking care of you. What can I get going for you? For example. Code switching depends on an audience, right? So I used a more southern accent when I waited tables in the South because people responded better than that, and therefore they tipped me better. So being aware of your audience and what will or will not work to build their trust in you and to convince them of your stance is pretty much as important when applying rhetoric to make an argument as your research or your writing is. So, thinking about academic English, then, in this class, as more of a language style that you can code switch into when it's appropriate, rather than the proper or correct way to speak. So academic English, like all types of English, all languages, is marked with certain conventions, many of which y'all are already going to be familiar with, most of them probably. Academic English doesn't use text-speak or emojis, for example. It generally involves complete sentences, often applies elevated diction, and usually avoids the second person you and sometimes the first person I. All of these conventions, are kind of to be applied as appropriate. I'm not here to tell you that the way that you speak or write is wrong. That's not what we're doing here. I'm here to help you get more comfortable with the conventions of academic English as they currently exist, because often that's what's going to be expected of you in your courses and later in your professional lives. It's not objectively better or worse than any other type of language, but it's a useful tool to wield, to have. Being aware of your audience and how you want your audience to perceive you, it's pretty much the bare bones basics of how to use rhetoric to your advantage, and you'll find that it comes up everywhere, not just in the writing you do for your coursework, but in the ads you see and hear throughout the day, the news articles and social media posts you read, even the clothes you decide to wear to a job interview or a virtual party. That's your ethos and your pathos, basically. We'll spend most of the semester dealing with like the logos, the texts of your sources and of your argument itself, but this is underlying framework. This kind of all works together. So, as you go on this week, keep audience and authority in mind as you're doing the reading. Ellen Collette's The Art of the Police Report and the work on the related journal entry. And yeah, have a good week. Bye, y'all.